What's going on, YouTube? Wanted to reach out real quick today. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Sunday. Just filling up with fuel here in between estimates, and I guess I just wanted to try to throw my random thoughts here instead of putting them up on Instagram or wherever else, because like I said, I've neglected the YouTube channel just because of the effort I feel like it takes. But then I realized that there's people following along here that, you know, appreciate the effort. So tomorrow I'm starting basically the biggest project that I've landed yet. It's some structural work for an amphitheater. Basically, we're going to be building some sheds, and really I just wanted to share basically my lessons that I've learned up to this point in the project. I talked about it in the last video, but I kind of landed this project while I was there doing some other stuff, building the ice rink, you know, whatever else, made connections with the GC, and, you know, him and I have built a pretty good relationship. Pollen is getting freaking crazy, so if you're in the Southeast, you know what I'm talking about, but if you're not in the Southeast United States, the pine trees here are pretty much the predominant tree that we have, and I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they have these little small, like, whatever baby little pollen holding things. In the fall time, you know, they come off brown, but in the spring, that's where they bud. And each of the little thing about this long is covered in pollen. And I don't see any right here at the gas station I can show you. But when the wind blows, basically from end of February until mid-April, it is yellow. The clouds are yellow. My car is covered in yellow. So my voice is a little crackly and stuffed up, and no matter how much allergy meds I take, it still kills me. So, well, while I was in the middle of talking, a customer called. Anyway, yeah, pollen is ridiculous out here, so I apologize for my voice, but yeah, so like finding jobs like this, I think, is easier than it's made out to be. I can say that now because I was in the position to where I was like, I don't understand, you know, like how that happens. And then when I kind of had an idea of how, you know, you can make it work, I then still didn't like see the clear view on the path of how to get there. And now looking back, it was a lot easier than I thought. So for you guys out there that are trying to get started, you know, try to get your ducks in a row, get an LLC, get insurance, you know, things like that. A lot of that's going to be specific to your state, which I, again, will start posting more videos. It will have to be after this project, though, because I'm going to be super busy. But once you have your ducks in a row, you know, get your equipment together, finding, you know, like building your own path on how to get there is going to be dependent on you and, you know, like what you already have, what you need. There's not one surefire list of everything that you need to have or whatever tools and this and that, whatever else. Cause you know, like when you're trying to get in to be a helper, you know, there's a ton of people out there that have their opinions on things that you need. And while the most of it is right, then there's still some specifics on what you know, need or don't need, you know, cause like most jobs require FRs, right? So like, you know, you're going to need that stuff. Most jobs you're going to need gloves, at least for the first day or week or whatever. And like I went out and bought my own, like, I don't know, face shield ring. And, you know, I think I bought like a few random face shields just like, so I didn't show up empty handed, and gloves and, you know, like whatever, safety glasses, or for me wearing glasses, I had to, you know, like have side shields and stuff like that, you know, so like, it's going to be a little bit different for every person, but there you can, you know, still get the gist of it. But think about the market that you're trying to go after. And for me, I don't really care. I will do anything that I know I'm capable of. So I don't try to find aluminum work because I don't do aluminum. I don't seek out stainless work because I don't really do stainless. Now I'm, you know, moving to the point to where I'm going to have people doing that stuff for me. I'll start entertaining it. I have a guy that's working with me on this next project that can do anything and everything. And so, like, I know I spoke earlier about, you know, potentially getting some sanitary work, and like he, you know, can orbital weld, he can do sanitary, he can do big bore. He can do whatever. He's a super slick TIG hand. And Joey's a really fantastic dude. He's been there for me, for years. And, when I started this, he was one of those people that was just like, dude, you got it. So it's really nice now to be able to like return the favor to him, in a different way. Granted, like he's helping me in a different way than, he helped me before. But I feel like, the support was big to me, so I want to, give back. But anyway, lessons that I have learned along this path was like being afraid is understandable. Like you're going to be terrified getting into something new. But trying to see the clear avenue, a lot of people I think are afraid of hearing the word no. And again, that's understandable, but that will hold you back so much. Because once you get to the mentality that you realize that the worst that's going to happen is they're going to say no, and then you go right back to where you were. I mean, and you can take that as far as you want, like I saw a meme the other day that said something like, you can put me down all you want, but what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say no, and then I have to step back and live the life that you're living, like a little bit more cocky than I would like to advertise, but it's very true. I try to stay somewhat humble. Just taking that leap, I think, takes a lot more courage than it seems, but is not as bad as you think it is. Again, what's the worst they're going to say is no. You get in over your head, learn to ask for help. Like those are the two biggest things. Like don't be afraid of getting a no, and then knowing, like of asking for help. Because let's say that you bid something and then you win it and it's like outside your realm, right? Like, oh shit, what do I do now? Start calling on people that that can do it. Hey man, look, I kind of got into this. I don't really know if I can make it happen. Do you have any tips? Are you willing to help? Like whatever. Suck it up and eat it. Pay. Obviously you have to pay your bills to some degree, but like pay for some help, whatever else. But like those are the hard-earned lessons that will make you the better business person, the better welder, the better everything. But just get out there and go for it. Like I know that seems so simple and like so cliche, but literally you can, I've said it 1,000 times, get on Thumbtack. Get on Thumbtack. There is money to be made there. I'm on the way to estimate a Thumbtack job right now. And this one is going to be probably $6,000 or $7,000. And without throwing out my own profit numbers out there, I will say that the profit side is more than half. But another thing that gets confused, and I will say, if you're interested in getting into this, learn to like to read. Reading will make you a better business person by far. I have learned so much. I'm not going to say that I thought I knew it all, but I thought I knew a decent amount, but I'm far below even what I would consider average knowledge. But I knew enough to be dangerous and get me to where I'm at. But I'm reading a book right now called Profit First for Contractors. And profit is like a misconstrued word because, for me, for a long time, I viewed profit as basically what I made. And if you want to treat it that way, sure, but you will not be a successful business. You might be a successful person, and right, like just depending on how you view it. But for me, I want to build a business that can hire welders, can grow, can have crews, can have multiple crews, can have multiple divisions. And so you have to start realizing that profit is what your business makes. And you are a function of that business. So profit is technically what is left after you pay yourself and your expenses and all of that stuff. So that said, this job isn't going to be over half in profit per se. It will net over half. And again, you can read that book and kind of get an idea of basically what kind of percentages you should ideally shoot for. And it's different for every trade, but I will say for welding, it just depends on what it is. Like I'm doing some like fence work, and it would be really hard to make materials 20 or 30% of a budget, because when you have $10,000 in material, Like, nobody was going to spend $50,000 on a fence. You know what I mean? So there's tools for that too. There's a site called HomeWise, HomeWyze, HomeWise. If I remember, I'll throw it in the description. But HomeWise has a lot of good estimating tools if you are interested in getting into some other sort of blue collar space. Like for me, I've been taking anything and everything that I have been offered. I'm not a fence expert. I'm not a stairs expert. I'm not a railing expert. I'm not an anything expert, but I do very good work. Try to be competitive in pricing, and HomeWise really gives you a good range of what's local to your zip code. So anyway, just Thumbtack will make you more money than you think. And if you were considering getting out on your own and you're working a regular job, download Thumbtack, get out there on the weekends. Again, not business or legal advice, but they have not asked for any sort of licensing or LLC or whatever else. And a lot of guys on there are doing just kind of side job type things for cash. That is a 100% at your own risk task. That's a liability on yourself if something happens, but you do with it what you will. I know a lot of people out there that are doing a lot of business without insurance, and that's totally fine if that's what you want to do. I prefer to protect my assets by not putting them at risk. So that said, if you're looking to get out there, get on Thumbtack, make you some side cash, and after that, look for general contractors in your area, mechanical contractors in your area. Literally anything out there can make you money. Concrete plants, mines, any sort of stuff like that has to have a contractor. Any plant has to have a contractor. Now, you know, like getting into a huge industrial space, like if you're trying to get into, I don't know, like an auto manufacturer, right? Like I'm just trying to throw out something here. It's going to be a little bit harder to get into that space. But wherever you live, I promise, close to you, there is some sort of industrial work, unless you do live out in the middle of BFE, Wyoming. But there's still a space. There's ranches, right? There's metal almost everywhere in the world. And where there's metal, there's stuff that will break. There's a space for you. It may not be exactly what you want to do, but it can lead to it. Would you rather sit at home, watch YouTube, and wish that you were out there making more money than you are, or taking the leap, taking the little bit shittier job or whatever it is, but pays good to get to where you are? Because I promise you, the sacrifice is worth it. But I'm going to wrap this up because now it's getting longer than I wanted to be, and I'm on the way to an appointment. But just keys that I have learned along the way, man. I could write a book on just little tidbits, which is what I'm going to start throwing out here, just instead of just kind of blurbing them on YouTube or just sitting on them, or blurbing them on Instagram, just because I feel like it will make a big difference in somebody else's vision to get the same things. But, you know, like, I don't know, just, it's hard to even get all the thoughts together on one video. But getting out, meeting some of those contractors, and then taking what they offer you, you know, like, again, it might not be exactly what you want to do. It might just be fixing gates. But hell, there's fast food restaurants everywhere that need trash enclosures fixed or whatever else. Call your local city or county government and just tell them, like, hey, look, I want to, you know, just kind of advertise in the city, like the city needs any work, or if there's any local stuff, you know, whatever. Hell, find the local welding shop. I got the gig that I'm on now because his normal fabrication shop is too busy to even consider work for him. And he's like, dude, I can get them to give you all the stuff that they can't take because they're passing on projects daily. And, you know, like, go to your local fab shop, man, and just be like, hey, you know, trying to get started in like the mobile space, and I know we're kind of in the same boat, but if you have any guys work that you guys don't want to do, or it's crappy, or you're just too busy, give me a call, man. And you never know. But if you sit at home and don't ask, the answer is definitely no. And then you're sealing your own fate. So I'm probably gonna blurb some more, make another video while I'm on the drive. My sticky street tires on this car are super loud on the highway, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, you guys have a fantastic Sunday, and I will see you on the next one.